Hello and welcome to the Consolation game here. You are joined by Liam Quinn and Johnny Broker for the broadcast here.
And we have the Midwest Barbarians. They are going to be in that red and white stripes that you see there running from right to left on your screen. And running from left to right are going to be the Southeast Bears. Good matchup coming here, Liam.
The referee just getting started here, having his last words with Thomas Musi. As Musi sets up to drop off. That's a rocket straight up into the sky. It's going to drop behind the 10-meter line. Well held by Jeremiah Curry, retains possession off his own kickoff. He'll be delighted with that. They set up in the middle of the field. Good, strong start. They're going to set up a few carries here right in the middle of the field with Rowan Shover.
Southeast, sorry, backwards. Sorry, I had that backwards.
I had my numbers backwards there. So David Randall picks from the base of the ruck and sets off the pick and drives here. That might be a little bit of obstruction there, but the referee lets it go. Mr. Joseph O'Brien taking it into contact. Good service there from David Randall as he sets up his runners. They're making progression here into the 22. Ref's got his hand out for an advantage coming to the Southeast Barbarians. I beg your pardon, and there goes Andy Takuzu on the Ringo. Marauding through the defense there and over the try line for the first score of the game, just a minute into proceedings here.
Naringo has been tremendous all weekend. The Principia player, civil engineering major, doing a great job so far. What a start for this Midwest teams, playing the Southeast Bears in white there.
Midwest doing a great job of building up the phases there, setting up the carries off the back of the ruck. Good servers, pod set up, ready to go. They wore down the Southeast and set up the try for when their big man got the ball there just outside the try line.
Hayden Farrell lining up the kick here.
Hayden Farrell from Iowa Central addresses the post. Very confident kick.
Nice start for the Midwest here. Looking good so far in this game.
Puts Midwest 7-0 up. They'll be delighted there, especially retaining their own kickoff there, John.
Yeah, good start. Able to take down your own kickoffs, a big factor in this game. You can hear the wind starting to whip around here at Aviva Stadium. Makes it all tougher for these guys out there.
So this is the real Thomas Musi kicking off this time, not as I first stated. I didn't give Aidan Farrell his due credit. Here he goes. He's going to go left. A deeper kickoff. That's going to bobble through the hands there of Chris Santos. That was an awkward kick, maybe moving around in the wind, and the ref's going to set up our first scrum of the game in Midwest Barbarians 22.
Scrum's been a big factor all weekend. Some of the teams, really coming in and getting coherent in their scrums very quickly, some not. So it's been a big weapon for some of these teams. Southeast has a big front row. Trevion Reed, Marshall Frank, Rowan Shover, all Queens, all played in the D1 National Finals last year, and they will be looking to impose on this Barbarians team.
Of course, the more front row and the more pack play together, John, that would build up experience and cohesion in the scrum, right? And that's not a luxury these guys have. Mark Bazarian at the back. He lets his 8-man Chester Stanion pick. He goes straight to his first center. Midwest are tackling people who have the ball, people who don't have the ball. There's nothing getting through. Quick hands there. Matthew Beacom. Southeast recycling well. There's danger here on the right-hand side. He steps back inside. That's George Condra. There's a penalty coming for Southeast.
Good work there from the Southeast Bears. Drawing that penalty is going to be an important one here. Also stepping up to take that ball, but the big boys are going to go for it.
Looks like they're going to go tap and go. So Graham Blondes takes it right up to the line. Standing at the back of that ruck is Thomas Musi in an unfamiliar scrum half position as they sneak the pick and go right over the line. Johnny Carmichael looks to do a second move, thinks better of it, and we've got a try, it looks like. If the ref can see the ball.
Yeah, ref's got it. It's called a try. I thought it might go in before we can look at it. There was a little bit of a wrap around the head there. that I thought was going to be, to go into a penalty try. But eventually the try comes. One of the big boys just gets his hand down there. Good work by this Southeast Bears side. Put 5 on the board. You look at it here. This first pick guy comes off. Looks wrap around the head there. And that's the eventual try. Just before that was just a little bit of a dangerous play. When it comes up, we're going to score the try and get those points on the board.
I think Johnny Carmichael there, thinking about taking the second move, he stretched the hand out and then he pulled the ball back in. Very smart play, experienced play there, not to lose the ball and get held up over the line. But the refs these days are being so careful about tackles around the heads, clearing out rucks around the head. We're trying to get away from concussions and dangerous play. So, like you said, Johnny, very lucky to get away with that there and not have the penalty try and possibly a yellow card awarded.
And must see the Paraguayan player from Lander University stepping up to take this one.
Looks like a blustery day down there. You can see the linesmen's flags as they stand under the posts, fully straight out blustering from left to right across the field as we look at it. Musty with quite a long setup. Of course, he has 90 seconds to take this kick. And he is not under any pressure. He's not rushed. And that's a great kick right between the posts. Very confident kick. So both the kickers not bothered by the wind so far today. Not an easy kick there for Mutsy at all. Way out on the right. And he dropped that right over the crossbar between the posts. So right now we're at 7-7. 6 minutes into the game, Southeast Bears and
Midwest Barbarians.
Answering each other very quickly here with 2 very impressive scores. Lots of pick and go, good hands. There's a good drive through the middle. Chester Stanion showing great hands, keeping the ball alive and offloading there. Mussy again at the base of a ruck. Goes through the hands from Blondes to Marshall Frank as he whips it out. We're seeing great hands from the forwards here. As there's a big break down the left-hand side, a flash of blonde hair as he gets taken down, and Midwest scramble to regather. Their defense is backpedaling at a rate of knots. They're doing well.
Yeah, the pretty clear player off their feet there for the Midwest. Southeast is going to take the opportunity. They get the penalty with this one, but just a player quickly and over.
And with the confidence Thomas Mussy scored that last conversion, you'd be mad not to take the 3 points here, John. Blustery wind, no bother to him. Midwest Barbarians there looking for one rucking player going in, showing his hands to the ref as he was going for a turnover. He might have been better off just going and hitting that ruck quickly, as it ended up in a turnover against his team. So if this kick is anything like the conversion, Mr. Musi will take every second allowed to him just to make sure he gives this his best effort. So this game has been progressing at a rate of knots so far. Just hectic action so far, as we've already got our 3rd score of the game if this goes through, and it does. Our 3rd score of the game. That brings us to 10-7. And at this point, 8 minutes into the game, we're going to introduce Tim Wilkes to the broadcast team. Tim, how are you doing?
Thank you, Bram. All pretty good, bud. Good first half of action here. Both squads definitely have enough in the tank to be able to punch their ticket to the next round. Midwest definitely not where they wanted to be with the upset in their previous match. They are looking to make their presence felt here now.
Big take there off the kickoff by Midwest. That's their 2nd kickoff that they've retained possession from. And what a weapon that is, Tim, to be able to retain possession from your own kickoff.
Exactly. Now they're on the front foot here, just outside the 22. And just one quick little movement, and they are back in front. So strong work here. Let's see if they can make something happen now off the penalty.
Good work there. They get rewarded by the referee with a penalty right in front of the post, just maybe 10 meters out from their 22. Last time we were down here, they showed great work with number 9, David Randall, who set up plenty of pick and goes. Just really got his forwards chugging left and right. That's a strange penalty there. They missed touch. I don't know, was he going for touch, but it ended up being more of a Gary Owen kick up and under. Didn't make touch. And now Southeast have possession as they break out of their own 22. Number 18 there, Johnny Carmichael, the guy who got the first bite at the try line at the other end of the field. Taking a big, heavy carry in there and is rewarded with a penalty. Hopefully you'll have better luck here. Thomas Mussey. Go ahead there, Tim.
Just trying to get their hands on the ball, getting aggressive, but did not release from the tackle. So an easy call for the referee as they look to continue to push their way down the pitch.
I think you're right. I think Midwest have their eyes on some turnovers here on the ground. As just before our last score, the forwards were showing their hands to the referee in that dramatic pantomime version of showing that they're doing their second movement, which of course you have to do before you go for a turnover. As we set up here, Marshall Frank with the throw in, right down the middle. Midwest come across the line, break that gap, but Thomas Mussey again with his hands on the ball. He's popping up everywhere here today. Curry to Fussell is a big break through the middle here with Luke Teixeira. Ball bobbles out of a few hands there, and Midwest managed to regain possession inside their 22. They'll look to exit here. Aidan Farrell takes a few steps back. They're going to go with another phase. That's a high tackle around the head there from Rowan Shaver. Referee's willing to let play go on. Midwest crabbing across the field. They might be better off kicking straight to touch and getting out of danger here, which is what they do. They miss touch again, unfortunately. We're just outside the 22 as possession bounces over and back between these two teams. This has been a hectic pace so far. The forwards, Tim, must be out of breath at this stage.
Yeah, you're already, 4 matches deep over the weekend. Who's got enough left in the tank as they're able to fling it all the way to the far side.
That was looking promising, but the pass went astray, and it's cleaned up by Johnny Carmichael, I think, way out on the left-hand side. Again, Mussey at the base of the ruck. He's doing all the scrum half work today there. Matthew Beacom takes into contact. Ball, unfortunately, goes through the hands of Chester Stanion. Maybe just a little bit of rush of blood to the head. We're going to go back for a scrum here. So they were playing under advantage for a knock-on from Midwest Barbarians. But those first 3 exchanges of play, we had a score on each one. And just now in this 4th one, we're starting to see balls not go to hands. Maybe calmer heads should prevail for the next few minutes here. Maybe stop with the hectic play and maybe set up some pick and goes here. So for our second scrum of the game.
Some good defense the last couple of minutes as well. Here from the Barbarians as they look to make the stand and try to stay as close in this one as possible.
Yeah, Barbarians will be eager to keep the scoreboard ticking over it. And wheeled in the scrum, and the penalty goes to the Southeast Bears.
Yeah, it looked like they had a decent little push coming there, but just ended up moving it off to the side before it started moving forwards. Looks like they'll take the points here and try to come away with a few more to extend their lead.
Yeah, everyone's got to push together. No point one side of the scrum pushing if the other guys can't keep up with you, right? Mussey will be delighted with another shot at the posts here. He's looked so calm kicking at the post today. The Midwest Barbarians players having a chat with the referee there. Maybe bringing up a couple of issues, getting some clarity on matters of the breakdown.
That wind has definitely played a factor in the first few matches of the day. Seems to be calming down a little bit here, but an opportunity to extend the lead.
Mussey approaches the kick. Calm as you like. That'll be his first miss of the day, it looks like. Well, the Midwest Barbarians get away with one as the score stays at 10-7. And we'll go back to the middle field. 22 dropout, I beg your pardon. But if I could have put money on Mussy sticking that between the posts, I would have. He looked so calm and confident after the first 2 kicks.
You see the Barbarians again. They played really, really well yesterday. Lost that match earlier in the day. They scored the final 2 tries to make it interesting, and they are again down by 3. Just trying to hang on to this one. Another penalty.
Midwest were without a scrum half there, without someone at the bait of the ruck, but there was a high tackle call on Midwest Barbarians. You have to be so careful with those. Needless penalties to give away. You got to keep the body height low in the tackle. We're seeing plethora of red cards being given out these days for that. And it's really not worth it to let your tackle height slide up. You got to keep it low and keep it safe, trying to avoid concussions.
For sure, everybody's been working on that. We'll see what they've got in the line. How the front jumper here, O'Brien, was a beast there for the Barbarians in their first match, but they're able to get it up over the top of him again.
Yeah, very nice touch throw by Marshall Frank, the hooker, as he loops it up and over to his jumper. An acquired skill from a line-out throw, that up and over. Oliver Fussell tries the crossfield kick. It doesn't quite do what he wanted, but he knew what he was doing. He's playing under advantage there, so there was no risk to that. Referee will bring us back into the corner. Marshall Frank, the line-out thrower, takes the safe touch on the ground, picks it up, barrels through 1 tackle into the second, goes to ground and recycles. Mussy sets from the base of the scrum, gives it to his Chester Stanion, his 8-man, as he breaks 2 tackles and takes 4 men to bring him to ground. Mussy again sets up. Are they going to go left? They do. A little strike play there. Josh Shetler coming in, running a great line onto that ball. A little pot of forwards, led by Jeremiah Curry, takes the ball through and it squirts out. Is that going to be a knock-on? Referee's got his hand out. It is, unfortunately, there. There was a couple of nice set plays strung together there.
Yeah, they were able to get it close, but in the end, the Barbarians got their hands on the ball, ripped it out of there. A chance to relieve some pressure here with a few minutes left just to get out of their own end. So much time being played here inside their own 22. Lucky to not giving up a try just yet. And let's see what kind of tricks they've got up their sleeves here to kind of flip the pitch.
Yeah, if the Barbarians can get out of this, they'll be delighted. That'll be a big momentum shifter for them. They've played so long inside their own 22 and not to have conceded a score this time, these last 2 times. James Coates set to the bait of the ruck. They're getting pushed back. And Southeast have won a scrum against the head, and that's an easy score for Chester Stanion. Cool heads there. I'm sure he was surprised as the ball rolled under his feet and gifted him an easy try there.
What a huge drive. Big time push as the Foundry are just able to take it all the way through. You see it's back there. They can't get it, can't reach it, and just continue to push, driving through the defense. Did a great job keeping it inside. If that had popped out, they would have been able to come up and make the tackle, but he kept it in and easily was able to scoop it and score for 5.
Oh my, just as we were talking about momentum shifting in the direction of the Midwest Barbarians, and they get pushed back on their own scrum like that. What a boost for the Southeast Bears. And very, very cool head from Chester Stanion as well to keep the ball at his feet. He knew he was going forward. He knew if he controlled it, didn't let it squirt out, that he'd get the easy try there.
Strong work as the boys continued to just keep that drive going, kept together, and were able to score that one in, a full team try up on the board there for the Bears.
Muskilo with his 4th kick of the game. He's only missed 1 today so far. Stroked this calmly. And he's back on track with a good score there to convert Chester Stanion's try. Bring us to 17-7 by my count.
Yeah, it was a good almost 10 minutes. They were able to pin them in where the Bears finally able to come away with points there off the scrum, using the big boys to push through. Saw use of the hands on the outside, use of the boot, but in the end, the engine room was able to come away with the 5 for the Bears.
Yeah, it's a funny old thing to put a team under pressure like that for 10 minutes can backfire and switch momentum against you if you don't ultimately convert and put some points on the scoreboard. So the Southeast Bears will be delighted with that. Now they're back in possession. Big Marshall Frank sets up over a ruck. Back to kick. Very quick chase there. He just got that away in time as he looks for some open field in the open grass in the backfield. Number 14, Charlie Harden, has burst through there. And he put his opposite number, Nicholas Marker, under tons of pressure as he tried to jink him, tried to juke him, couldn't get past him, and eventually knocked the ball down. Unfortunately, you can't intentionally knock a ball forward like that.
Yeah, you saw Marker had time, had space, had the runners there to the left, but just a little bit too late on that pass. And again, like you said, it was intentionally knocked forward there, didn't try to come after it with two hands. They're able to take this one, boot it out into touch, and set up a line out.
I think Nicholas Marker's life probably flashed before his eyes there as he looked up and saw the two tacklers on either side of him and nowhere to go. He should have got rid of that. In retrospect, probably should have got rid of that quicker.
Yeah, it's tough. All the boys coming together.
Lineup.
Communication can be tough at times, but they're able to secure possession now.
Oh, a lovely little offload there. Just a little tips pass right at the last second, keeping your tacklers guessing as Dakudza and Ringo burst up the middle there. So hard to adjust your footwork and your tackle positioning when that ball is being offloaded at the very last minute. Referee will give a penalty. The Barbarians go back 10, holding on, so just support not getting to the ruck in time, and Midwest ball carriers just having to hold on a little bit too long. So great work from Southeast Bears to hurry them at the breakdown there.
Looks like they'll take the posts here, go for the kick to finish this one off and extend their lead again. As you said, they've done so well striking the conversions and the penalties thus far with just the one miss. Looking to really reach for this one, close to midfield.
Apparently Thomas Moosey's confidence knows no bounds as he's 2 meters inside the halfway. He tries to maybe sneak a little bit extra there while the referee is tying his shoelaces. Tosses a bit of grass in the air. He's going to check this wind. So you'll have to be very careful about setting this up. This is quite a long way out, so plenty of time for the wind to affect this.
Yeah, it was definitely blowing from left to right as we view the screen, and they've been able to, that wind has been gusting a good 15, 20 miles an hour throughout the morning.
He's just about got the legs. He doesn't. It's away to the right as Midwest Barbarians will come back at them. Helter-skelter run right out of the 22. He's made 40, 50 meters. He's over the halfway. It's Aidan Farrell. The Ringo gets there just in time there to secure the penalty for them. James Coates takes possession.
Bears got a little too aggressive, just kind of dived right over that one as they tried to rip it back away. And now an opportunity. We're not going to be able to knock this one out and maybe punch some more points up on the board and get a little bit closer, be in striking distance once they get to the second half.
This is where the Bears need to make it count, just to keep things relatively even going in at halftime. And that linesman's flag is whipping in the wind. So as Aidan Farrell kicked for touch there, it was no wonder he didn't try to shoot it further down the line as he needed the safety of touch. He had to make sure of it. Good line out. James Coates serves his 10. Farrell, big carry from Sibanda. Again, Coates goes right. Stringing the phases together. He's going right again. 23 Eccles. Runner's a little bit static there, but they're so strong that they're pushing through the tackles. A lovely pass through the blowhole from number 8. Trevor Lister bends over, shoots it out between his legs with a little trick play. Southeast Bears. Try and keep up with that. Guys having fun out there, trying some tricks. There's a nice pass. Tries to keep it alive, but he got a foot in touch. And we find ourselves 8 or 9 phases later, back where we started at the touchline for a throw in to Midwest Barbarians.
Looks like penalty was on there, so they're actually going to have another opportunity at it. As you see, between the legs, pinpoint pass as they continue to make another 10 meters off of it. Well done from the Barbarians.
Trevor Lister making sure he's going to make some highlight reels tonight and over the weekend with that beautiful pass. Those things are only good if they go to hand, but there's a big breakthrough in the middle here on a second bite of the apple there from Midwest Barbarians. We're back for a penalty. They're looking to keep the tempo up here. Number 23, Eccles, he's going for the line. How many people is going to take to stop him? He rolls right over and does well to hold on to that and get it grounded.
Yeah, strong run there from Eccles as he was able to take it through, but a couple of mistakes there from the Bears really set that up. A couple of offside calls. They just got a little bit too aggressive, trying to keep the points off the board. We see this one final time here. Nosey has the numbers on the outside, and beautifully done. A little bit of trickery there up the sleeve as they continue to march forward, and then we're able to secure possession again. Like I said, it's just those couple of offsides calls that were able to keep the Barbarians alive, keep things moving. There was advantage being played there, and then they had another one, finally able to bring it home here with Eccles.
Lovely slalom-like run from Eccles there as he was aware of as he hit the ground, he was aware of where the try line was, got that last little roll in, let his momentum take him over. He looked fired up as he popped up there from that. Slapping high fives with his teammates. That's it. Well, great over and back there in the first half, Tim. We're going to go to halftime and we'll see you for the second half.
In our game, we play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts, and we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
Since 1979, we've been searching for perfection. We've been thinking, sketching, and designing. We've been building, assembling, and strengthening.
Hello and welcome back to the matchup here between the Southeast Bears and the Midwest Barbarians. I'm Liam Quinn and we've got Tim Wilkes. What are you looking for in the second half, Tim?
Well, we should be able to see something here from the Bears. They played well there in the first half, but they had the win at their backs. Let's see if the Barbarians, having that win, can lead to their advantage and be able to come back into this one.
That's a great point, Tim. That wind really was standing to them and really picked up and started to blow harder and harder as the first half went on. If we look at those touch judges' flags, they are straight out horizontal, parallel to the ground. That is a strong wind whipping, and it was helping Thomas Musi in the first half with his kicks. Let's see if 10 points is enough of an advantage to carry these Southeast Bears through the second half. We set up for a lineup on the Midwest Barbarians 22. Then Thomas Musi flings it out to Oliver Fussell. Through the hands, they can't hold on to that. Josh Shelter, I think, who was a flyer in the first half. We would often see streaks of that blonde hair running great lines, but he just struggled to hold on to that. Luckily, the ball went backwards as Matthew Beacom takes into contact. Referee's going to blow it up there for a penalty. In like from the side, I think, is the call.
Came in from the side, just a little bit too aggressive. Got to make sure they're coming straight through the back of that ruck. An early opportunity now for the Barbarians. Maybe flip the pitch and start the attack of their own. Only down by 3 at this point after they were able to punch in that final try there in the first half.
That's correct. Yep, and the score correction there. Thanks, Tim. 17-14 our scoreline here as we begin the second half. Aidan Farrell looked super comfortable there with that kick. Maybe doubling the distance he was getting from his penalties in the first half as he's more comfortable kicking with the wind. Referee's calling to the sideline. We have an injury here, or substitution, looks like.
Just got to bring on those fresh legs. Still got one more match to go later on today. Make sure everybody's feeling good. 3 games yesterday, already 1 in the books today. Starting to feel those muscles tightening, I'm sure.
Yeah, back-to-back rugby is as that pass gets picked up by the wind and blown forward. There's our try scorer from the first half, Eccles, as he gets swung around by number 24 for the Southeast Bears. Farrell looking to go quickly. He's called back by the referee, who insists he take it from the spot of the penalty. Farrell, with his new wind behind his back, kicks comfortably to touch. Set up good attacking line out here just outside the Southeast Bears 22. That was a strong tackle there.
In their previous match this morning, the Barbarians were able to secure possession off those lineouts with ease, using O'Brien, the big number 6, front and back, but then they were able to drive one in earlier, a little bit outside of the 22, more than likely just spinning out to the backs.
They dummy to the front and then go there. He loses possession for a second and then regains it. Referee's going to give a penalty for contacting the player before he gets back to the ground, I think.
You got it.
David Randall. Not messing around with the wind here. He takes his tap penalty on the ground. Skips two players with the pass over the back. As we set up the pick and go, or the strike plays here. Big number 4, Naringo. David Randall looking for his bigger players. Punch holes here in the Southeast Bears defense. Joseph Napora takes it, ships it on. Midwest looking very calm here. Number 7, Kyle Van Niekerk gets his hands on that. Decides to let it go. They're steadily gaining territory here with every carry. Very calm, and they're punching a very straight, very narrow line right through the middle of the Southeast Bears defense. We decide to go out the backs to Aidan Farrell. Sets up Eccles again, and they know exactly what they're doing as he drops it over the try line. Did he manage to get that down, Tim?
I think he did. I think he dotted it down first, and then that final little spin for some flair at the end. Lost it, but strong work, was able to get that one 22 meters out and just took it straight through the teeth of the defense, around a couple of defenders. You called it, it kind of a little bit close there, but referee was right on the spot, made the call.
Looks like there's a huge divot there from where his knee hit the ground, and I think it stopped him dead and popped the ball out. But like you said, I think he got it down safe. And without the luxury of video review, we're going to go with that score today. That brings us to 19-17 South to Midwest. And the metronomic Aidan Farrell blast out right between the posts. (21-17) to the Midwest Bears.
Take a second look. We saw just one little fend off from that defensive line. Nobody back behind could do anything with it either. And yeah, it was close. Definitely looks like he maybe was able to make contact with it before that ball kind of flipped back over his hand. But a close
He played
call.
it off very well either way.
Oh yeah, made it happen and gave his boys the 4-point lead here, as they have really come through with the comeback now, scoring 11 unanswered points.
So I'm sure Aidan Farrell knew exactly what he was doing there when they were making all that territory from all the strike plays and the running, and he called for the ball to go out the backs. You'd initially be wondering why, and then that's obviously why. Eccles is such a weapon when you use him like that, a slaloming run. As the Bears take it deep into Barbarians 22. Service goes out to the big hooker, Marshall Frank. He's been popping up all over the field in the second half. Big bit of machinery and able to get it around the field. We'll turn over there on the ground. Barbarians pick and go right through the middle. They'll look to capitalize on this here as they get quick ball. They set up for their 9, David Randall. The forwards and picking and go, and they all want a bit today. As Southeast bite back and push him back. Ball bobbles out the back. It's cleaned up by number 5, CJ Corcoran. Great pass there, and there's the clean-up kick from Aidan Farrell. Big boot, using every bit of that wind to his advantage. Josh Shelter manages to gather well, puts up a big Gary on, misses the tackle as Farrell runs back, stopped by Southeast Bears number 5, the substitute who just came on, whose name I don't have, but the referee's going to give us a penalty here. Wild over and back play in the second half.
Just got a little too aggressive there, not rolling away the call. Sets him up again as we take another look, just into contact, and just kind of Cunningham, I believe, got stuck there. Didn't roll away quick enough for the referee's liking. Awarded the penalty.
Yeah.
As Barbarians look to strike again. I was incorrect earlier. 14 unanswered points off of the 2 tries from Eccles. Have really started to get things rolling for the Barbarians.
Yeah, tackler just got trapped on top of the body there. Not much he could do. You have to get out of the way quicker. And you're right, 14 unanswered points is putting a different complexion on this game. Ball bounces over and back there. Doesn't go to hands. Tanner Teese gets in there and upsets the Southeast Bears, recovering that ball quickly. But they have it. And again, they drop it. That's a knock on there. So Midwest should be playing under advantage. Referee's going to let it go. He initially had his hand up and then put it back down again. Big strong carry there from Southeast Bears outside their 22. Giving their 10 a little bit of breathing space. Midwest Barbarians all over the offside line as they shoot up quick and knock back the ball carriers in the tackle. Southeast really under pressure here. They might be at risk of giving up a turnover if they don't do something here to release the pressure. They look to Marshall Frank to release some pressure. The big body who we keep finding all over the field, just making himself a nuisance for the Midwest Barbarians. Now we're getting a bit of go forward. Ball number 17, Graham Blondes with the confident carry. And just as I say that, we give up a penalty against the Barbarians. Not rolling away.
A little too aggressive there. But strong tackles. Tanner Two's the big number 1 prop for the Midwest, making his presence felt out there. He made back-to-back tackles to keep things moving.
Southeast don't make touch with the penalty. That's the second time in this game. CJ Corcoran picks from the base of a ruck, shoots forward, gaining a couple of meters. These Barbarians forwards are they're nothing if not game fit. They're at everything, they're chomping at the bit. Ball bobbles, squirts out the other side. Goes to Moosey for a carry. Beg your pardon, Moosey's at the base of the ruck as he pops it out to his 13, Oliver Fussell. There's the offload in the tackle. Not a ton of bodies lining up to ruck for Southeast Bears as they look for 23, Josh Shelter. Luke Teixeira taking the carry. We'll go back for a penalty here. A few words there between Eccles.
Strong work from the Southeast Bears, though, as they were able to come away with possession. It looked like the Barbarians were going to be on the front foot there with big number 2, Marshall Frank. The hooker was able to come in with the counter ruck, shove them off, and then was able to scoop it up and retain possession back for the Bears.
Yeah, what an advantage it is for your team when you have a big bit of machinery like Marshall Frank, who can scrummage well, knock bodies back, but he can also get himself around the field to be useful to you. When you get your front row and your big boys that fit, it's a real weapon for a team.
Well, we already saw their strength there in the first half as they were able to drive over against the head in the scrum and give their team an extended lead there. But as you said, always valuable to have these guys, and he's showing his presence not just in the trenches, but out there on the outside as well.
Yeah, the best ability is availability, and you're not available if you're huffing and puffing back in the 22 when play moves up the field. There's a big kick. Again, that doesn't make touch. He's kicking right into a strong wind there, so we won't hold it too much against him. It's 23, Josh Shelter shoots a big pass across. Much bigger body there, bigger ball carrier in number 13, Oliver Fussell. He gets play almost back to the halfway. Javier Luong trying to get out of the way and back on side there as he sets up the pillar. Mostly good service there. We almost had another between the legs pass there, but Oliver Fussell thought better of it. Southeast Bears getting forced back a few meters here. Again, Midwest Barbarians just so aggressive with the D-line, just shooting up quickly. There must be great communication out there. We've a great break on the right-hand side here. Bears have made it almost to the 10-meter line, to the Midwest 10-meter line. Great, Stanion takes it, ships it on. Midwest Barbarians looking for a jackal there. They slipped off it as Marshall Frank, first receiver, ships it out with a great pass, and he set the back out in the middle of the field. He's in space, he's looking for Josh Shetler. A wild pass tipped, and they're still in possession here as Austin Costco takes the carry. Calms things down a bit. Again, Marshall Frank at first receiver. He picks a ball up off his laces. Great hands. And secures possession again. A couple of low passes coming from the rucks here. Southeast Bears receivers doing well to pick those up and deal with them. Luke Teixeira, dummies right, goes left. He does the line-out style overhead pass to Marshall Frank, who ships it on. Now we've got Shetler cutting back inside. Very smart play. And a beautiful offload. Pacific Island style offload as he's being shipped over onto his back and still manages to get the ball away. Graham Blondes taking it right into the center. They're right in front of the posts here. As Fussy again sets up, he chooses to go right. Teixeira with the skip pass all the way out to the right, and what a finish from Charlie Harden. Takes the tackle, keeps moving forward, and grounds the ball. Great finisher's instinct, Tim.
Yeah, we've seen the wind play havoc out here in the second half, but a beautiful, like, triple skip pass there all the way to the outside, finds its mark, and too much space, and an easy money try there for the Bears. Take a
Here we see Shetler again. Go ahead there, Tim. Talk us through this.
You see the pass there into the hands right at the center of the pitch, and this is where they've got numbers on the outside, just a few defenders out there in red. They take their time with it, suck in the defense, and there's that skip pass all the way to the outside, catches the defense napping. One final blow over the final defender, gets it in for the try. Exactly what they needed to get back on top here. It had been all Barbarians here in the second half, but they're able to come away with the try and get back on top.
Number 12, Gentry Stack from the Midwest Barbarians won't like watching the replay of that, but sometimes you're the windshield and sometimes you're the bug, and Luke Teixeira did well there. So strong in the tackle, just a barge right through it, hold on to possession and ground it so strongly there. Musi, big kick right into the wind. We'll give him a free pass on that. See 12 again. Beg your pardon, Luke Teixeira hesitate, fling the pass out, and my mistake was Charlie Harden, who broke through the tackle of Gentry Stack there and just slammed it down for the try.
Good work from the Bears there, and with that 5 points, they have secured the lead with about 5 minutes left to play. What do the Barbarians have left in the tank here? They've still got the win, and this one's going to trickle all the way in.
I decided he had to use that wind, blasted straight through back of the in-goal area. We'll come back for a 22 dropout.
You want
some serious
to use
weapons
that
in there.
You want to pin them deep, but here, this one, since it went out through the back, we'll have a scrum down back at the center.
Little overzealous there on the using the wind on the kickoff. It's been a few minutes since we've had a scrum. I'm sure Southeast Bears would love to dominate this again and push Midwest Barbarians back. Regain a bit of momentum in the upper hand in this game. It's Mark Bazarian sets. Beside his opposite number, David Randall. Similar in stature, the two scrum halves. Marshall Frank, I see, although he's wearing the number 2, is setting up a loose head prop in this scrum. Big push from the Barbarians, and they shoot off early. And there's a big counter ruck from the Barbarians as they blow that ruck up, and the ball is stolen by Tanner Tees. Ringo, I beg your pardon, I have the wrong number there. As Nick Rasmussen goes to the left, and he looks like they could be over the line, but they're held up. Referee goes straight to the held up call there, and whoever made that tackle, that was a very smart move. I guess it was Luke Teixeira there, number 12. He managed to get his body under the ball, grab on tight, and oh, what a counter ruck right on the halfway line, and then the vision to come out of there. Number 4, Naringo, just a blast through and run past, break through 4 or 5 tackles, and get the ball back. Nick Rasmussen picking, going, keeping the ball alive, offloading for Tanner Tees as he dives over the line and unfortunately gets held up.
Yeah, Naringo had a couple of tries in their previous match this morning. He's playing that lock position, but he'd end up on the wing from time to time, and we see the speed there as he's able to blow through the defense and set his squad up. But it looks like we're going to have a goal line drop here for the Southeast Bears. Again, with that 15-20 mile an hour wind blowing right in their face.
Yeah, Midwest Barbarian saying, no problem, guys. Do your best with this kick. Having to drop kick into this wind is probably not the most fun task for Thomas Musi. As he acquits himself admirably, puts that up high, and his team regained possession. Fantastic from the Southeast Bears. Now with possession outside the 22, they get the penalty. Midwest Barbarians not moving away. So great return there from Thomas Musi.
Hayden Johnson was able to get his hands on that one in the end for the Bears. And like you said, just somehow able to hang that one up in the air and had the pace to be able to come over and get it. But this kick not finding touch.
That's the curse of that wind as Aidan Farrell runs diagonally across the field. Runner gets tied up and isn't able to get his hands away. Again, those great tackles from Luke Teixeira again, I think there, as he wraps up the tackler's arms and stops them from unloading. We've seen both teams with a flair for offloads in this game just to keep the ball alive. That was a poor pass, and Naringo wasn't able to hold it. It'll stop play, but we'll go back for a penalty that was coming.
Yeah, we had a high tackle there. And it looks like a card's going to be given. So the Southeast Bears, with 2 minutes left to play, they're up by 1, but they will be down a man for the remainder.
And it looks like I've cursed poor Marshall Frank. I praise him, he's got himself in the sin bin for the final few minutes of the game. So Aidan Farrell electing to kick for the posts here and put some points up on Southeast Bears. Maybe take a minute or two off the clock.
For a second, I dropped my coat off, and I was just staring at the game.
He's got the wind behind him.
Yeah, I agree. And then there's something I want to do for.
A flag stay down. So that kick is no good. We're still at 22-21.
So ball did go out the back off the kick, so we'll come all the way up to the 22-meter drop. Again, the Bears down a man. About a minute left to play. They'll need to try and retain possession as much as they can, but that's a dangerous option when you're inside your 22.
Yeah, you have to maintain discipline. No penalties under any circumstances, because I don't think Aidan Farrell will make that mistake twice. If he gets anything even anyway closer, he's going to stick that between the posts. Good safe take from the Barbarians. 9 dummies the pass, takes it forward, ships it off to Joseph Napora. Oh, great hands from Eccles as he scoops that ball off the ground and does a Chris Aston ash splash over the line. A little bit of flair there from Eccles as he bombs over the line and gets that ball down. This kick will be somewhat easier for Aidan Farrell.
What looked like a broken play ends up with a scoop and a huge score there for Eccles as they come around here. Good hands being shown to be able to retain possession. And then there it is, takes that scoop, just a huge burst of speed, blows right past those 2 defenders, and then has the finishing prowess to take it all the way in with the big stretch and the score.
That's no mean feat to take that ball at pace. Bend down, keep moving, the strength in your ankles and the mobility to get down that low, scoop the ball and keep moving at pace. And then just the speed of acceleration from Eccles as he just takes 9 or 10 players completely. Takes 9 or 10 players out of the game there with a huge acceleration, and right at the end, a game winner from Eccles. Is probably the most flashy player on the field, or the most flair player on the field. Wins that game for the Midwest Barbarians. The kick is good, and that's the icing on the cake from Aidan Farrell. Tim Wilkes, exciting game so far, and what a finish.
Well done. It's the hat trick there for Eccles, and he kits the team, puts him on his back, and delivers them to the promised land. They punch their ticket into the Consolation Championship.
Tri-State versus Mid-Atlantic coming up next after this break. So from Liam Quinn and Tim Wilkes, thank you very much. We'll see you in the next one.
We've been cutting, shaping, and painting. We've created strength and beauty time and again. Our machines are made for one thing: the perfect hit. We are the crouch. We are the bind. We are the set. We are the squeeze. We are the hit. We are Rhino, home of the scrum.
In our game, we play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
Welcome back to the 2023 NCR All-Star Challenge. We are live here from Houston, Texas in Aviva Stadium. Tim Wilkes alongside Liam Quinn as we get set for the second Consolation semifinal.
How you doing, Tim? Great weekend of rugby so far. We'll be looking forward to another big matchup now.
We have the Mid-Atlantic Sharks will be in the gray.
Test.
Taking on Tri-State Foundry in the black and blue. Sort out the ref mic situation, and we are just about ready to get underway. Both these squads not exactly where they wanted to be from the morning. Both coming away with losses, but a lot of talent on the pitch for both squads. And Liam, let's see what both teams have in the tank here in their fifth match of the weekend.
Good, Matt.
Yeah, the Mid-Atlantic Thunder Sharks with a bit of a jersey debacle as they end up changing their name from Sharks to Thunder Sharks to go with their jerseys this weekend. But yeah, a lot of guys looking to prove something after those unfortunate losses earlier today.
Sounds, and we are underway here in the semifinal of the Consolation bracket. Taken here by the Foundry, a big hit right at the center of the pitch, but they're able to secure possession. Find some space here on the near side as this one trickles away. Big factor coming into this match after the first few. We do have that wind blowing, gusting at a good 15-20 miles an hour from left to right. And the Sharks will have the penalty here, not rolling away the call, and they'll have an opportunity just outside the 22.
Yeah, Tony Robinson, the fullback there, hitting that ruck, first ruck like a man possessed. Great to see your backs coming in and helping out with the forward work on the ground.
Front lifters come to me.
The boot goes through, and they're able to set up a line out here, 10 meters out. See if they can strike first. Line out coming in here from Smith. Finds its target, and they look for the driving maul over the 5-meter line. They continue to push. They're over the try line and in for the first 5 points. confirmed by the assistant referee, and it's power and strength there for the Sharks, getting the first 5.
Oh gosh, the Foundry won't like that at all. That was child play. You see here, this was like a move off the training ground. As they took it well, they set up exactly like they want to do, and Foundry were so slow getting to defend that maul, and then when they got there, they're in standing positions. You can see Mohamed Barry there and a couple of others just too upright. They can't get a driving motion there as number 30 gets dragged over the line. Chad Tiernan, I think, who got the number, if they're wearing the corresponding numbers in their jerseys. But he didn't even have a choice. He got dragged over the line there and pushed onto the ground as they do their Shark celebration.
Tiernan with the first 5 points of the match. Kick off the mark, no good, but a solid start for the Mid-Atlantic Sharks. Went 0-3 yesterday, lost their match this morning, but they had a lot of power and pace. They used that win to their advantage there in the first half this morning and are able to come away with the first 5 here to start.
Sorry, can you watch the sitting golf for them? Because they're always diving.
We've had 1 minute of the game. They can't be always in. Time's off.
Looks like we have a possible injury here. Somebody going to come off as we heard co-captain Federico Gabbana talking with the referee. Referee says, let's just get into the match a little bit before we start worrying about stuff.
Makes a very good point there, and he's given a couple of penalties against me over the years as well, this referee. But he was taking none of that guff. That's too early in the game. You've just conceded a score. And you're using phrases like Akira do, the referee.
Wait for my whistle, all right?
But he's making the very good point that we're 3 minutes into this game. You've just conceded a score. They can't be always going off their feet. We're only 3 or 4 phases into it.
Kick taken nice and high, but it holds up beautifully in the wind. We saw that in the previous game. When you're kicking from right to left, you can use that wind to set it up, and they are able to come away with it off the restart. So good work, setting up a nice little opportunity, a little pick and drive through the teeth of the defense. They'll try to come weak here to the side. Strong run into contact goes Robinson. Robinson right to the 22-meter line. Picked out of there by Davis. Finds a charging runner. Another good one there from Robinson. Over the 22, but a penalty is going to be awarded, not releasing the call against the Foundry, as they just got a little bit too aggressive there, and support did not arrive in time. Previous game, Tri-State, things got a little bit chippy, so well done by our referee to be able to kind of sort things out here initially. As again, not releasing the call there. Good job by the Sharks to get their hands on it and apply the pressure. Throw coming in.
Yeah, we saw the last
Jacob
game.
Smith. Finds his
Those
target,
penalties in the last game. Those penalties in the last game could have swayed the result in one direction or the other. So both teams will really have to watch their mouths, because, of course, if referee Akira Do is not taking any guff from one team, he's definitely going to apply the same rules to the other.
Sharks not out of the woods yet. Have the scrum inside their own half of the pitch here.
Bind. Set.
Put in from Davis, has this one shoot out the back, but the penalty is going to be awarded here against the Foundry. Pulling it down, says our referee, and so a penalty awarded back to the Sharks. Again, they've got the win at their back. Look to take a boot and kind of flip the field here in their favor with the 5-point lead.
It goes away so I can see what's happening, so you can tell me what happens.
Ethan Goslaw, the big prop there, coming up and celebrating with fist pumps, and as if like an omen, yellow cards are flustering across the field. Looks like they've escaped from the referee's pocket, but like a warning to guys to keep their discipline and not give away silly penalties today.
Sets up here with another line out, 30 meters out. This one up over the top, misses its target.
Blue's got it.
falls into the hands of Sean Collins. And Tri-State look to make something happen now all the way to the far side of the pitch. Little chip kick up over the top into the wind, and this one, let's see if it did not. It did land in touch, so out on the full, and we'll come all the way back to where the kick was taken for a line out back to the Sharks.
Yeah, unfortunate little bounce there. He had the right idea, chipping into space, creating space. He didn't quite have the runners there where he would have liked them set up. He would have liked someone with a straight sprint, but yeah, that wind just probably held it up a little bit and dragged it out over the line.
Another line out secured here for Mid-Atlantic. Nice little pass back inside, finds a gap. Over the 10-meter line go the Sharks.
Wasn't that a lovely little dummy and switch to the other side?
Beautiful little take, possible high tackle there, no arm coming out, so we'll continue to move forward here for the Sharks. Out to the far side of the pitch. Nice little swim move through the defense as they continue to strike forward. Preston Jones had that last little run. Inside pass with the offload and the charge right through the teeth of the defense. Strong run coming there from Moyer. Skip pass over to the outside, finds its target. The defense has had time to get there. We'll come back, it would be a forward pass, so a scrum down back to the Foundry.
I think you're dead right. I think the Foundry were very lucky to get away with that high tackle there. You could see the arm trailing and it was over the shoulder. But I think because he let it go halfway through, maybe Akira let him go with it.
Don't say anything. I am telling you what needs to happen. All right.
Akira being very stern with both front rows here. He's not taking any discussion. He's letting them know how it is and how it's going to be.
Come on, Jay! Bind! Set!
Chris Davis gets this one in.
Everybody's still good.
Starting to fall apart a bit, but that ball is playable and they let him have it. Out to the outside, run in there from Lanning. Lanning still spinning through the tackles. Holds strong, and it was a high tackle, so they'll take the quick tap off the penalty. Right through the defense they go, over midfield. Strong work from Tri-State as they look to attack. Back again, straight up the gut. Not much east and west happening here as it was Collins into contact, and yet again, here they go. Davis with the final pass, misses the mark.
Is that forward, Rachel, or is that good?
Play on, says our referees. Good job by the AR being in position to make sure that it was not forward. Davis will move it out here to the near side. Big double tackle, takes Oberlander to the deck.
Offside, never on.
But offsides is the call. Another quick tap,
there.
and here they go again. Through the hands, right through the center of the pitch. Here goes Kaku. Kuku with it, lost it forward though. Now at the 5-meter line, advantage being played, and they kick it away. Using that wind to their advantage. This one's going to trickle all the way out. So a strong work to be able to take it away and flip the field there. No quick line out's going to be had as there was a player there defending, but helter-skelter stuff, back and forth we go, Lamb.
Oh, that was such a pity there from Nicholas Davis. He did so well twice in a row. Hit quick tap, the first with the snipe and then with the quick tap and go. And all he had to do was, when I say all he had to do, it's a tough skill, but little rush of the blood to the head, and he swung the pass out to his right without looking for his support runner. He would have been on the highlight reel for the rest of the weekend if he just hung on to that, drew the tackler, and then let the ball go out to his right.
The wind still causing havoc in these lineouts. Not straight the call, so it'll be a scrum down back here to the Sharks. Again, the Sharks with a little jersey mishap, which happens. They're wearing the Thunderbirds jerseys, but in the gray there, taking on the Foundry as we see this one just off the mark.
Yeah, looking like a team of football numbers on the Sharks jerseys. They've got everything from 30 upwards. They're looking like a bunch of linemen. Is it that wear those numbers?
Playing like it so far. They had that first early try that they were able to get through the hands. But since then, a bit of a stalemate. Closest they had gotten was Tri-State on that last movement. But here they're able to push forward and steal it against the head. Taken out the back by Davis. Skip pass here to the near side of the field. They get into the hands of the winger. Burst of speed right through the defense they go. Tony Robinson still on his feet. right at the 22-meter line, finally brought down. Davis thought about taking it straight up the gut. Instead, gets it off there to Collins. Collins dragging a defender with him. Strong defense coming in, though, from Brad Porter.
The ball is out. It's blue ball, guys. It's blue ball.
Tony Robinson giving me motion sickness there with how quickly he stopped on a dime and took off again.
Cuckoo takes it into contact again, but strong defense here from the Sharks. Getting the Foundry to move the wrong direction. There's a little stab kick through, trying to find some space. Robinson applying the pressure. Nice little double tackle. Esquarello to the deck. Sharks still in possession. Playing the man without the ball, so a penalty and an opportunity for the Sharks to relieve some pressure.
And Tony Robinson, just as I was about to praise him for being a dynamo there. He's everywhere. He's undersized, or he's smaller sized, but he's not letting that stop him. He is throwing himself into rucks. But then, as I say that, then here he is with the break through the middle. Look how quickly he stops, leans out of the tackle, and eventually it takes 2 or 3 fellas to wrap him up. But then he starts being chippy with the referee, which he knows he can't do. Referee Akira has set a stall out. Don't talk to me. When a ref tells you that, you got to go with him.
Strong work there from Robinson, like you said, to be able to hold up a little bit. He had that burst through, but then so often you get caught unprotected. Like you said, held up, was able to have support arrive, but it is the Sharks in possession here. From inside their own 10-meter line, they're just going to kick this one through, but it's secured. And Tri-State looking for some space there on the far side of the pitch. Thompson still on his feet. Takes it in. Tri-State still down by 5. 12 minutes gone by here in the first half of this Consolation semi-final matchup. Davis pulls it out. Decides to go to the near, or excuse me, all the way to the far side, flirting with that touch line, and eventually the Sharks push him out into touch. Turnover with the line out back to Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah, I think Nicholas Davis was trying to mix it up there, just keep him guessing. He had all his back set up to his left, and he went right instead. Ben Clough did well, hold the ball, but unfortunately they just got dragged over to the touchline, so smart tackling there from the Mid-Atlantic Thunder Sharks.
Nice take there from Moyer. They'll look to take this one up high, send it into the Houston sky, but we're going to have an offsides call. Did not get behind the kicker or retreat when that kick was made.
Your whole back line's up early.
And to keep the points up.
10 and 12.
So penalty going to be given here. And the Sharks have been pinned in for the last handful of minutes. With that 15, 20-mile-an-hour wind gust at their back, let's see if they can find some space, but it does not get to touch. Good job by Tri-State to keep it in. And now they look to attack here on the near side. Here comes Thompson. Beautiful little inside pass back to Robinson. Robinson with the speed. Finally brought down, though. Huge tackle there by Moyer to hang on for dear life. As Robinson was dragging him through. Looks like they were off their feet. Easy call for the referee, and the Sharks get dinged with another penalty.
Yeah, Robinson's such an exciting player there. The little switch, the turn and give. So it's so exciting to see him running onto a ball at pace. A great line there. Watch him switch. They knew exactly what they were doing. They cut 2 players out. Breaks another guy. And Augie Orrego did really, really well to hold on to him. Nicholas Davis just had nothing he could do there. His forwards got blown out of the ruck and he just got pushed back.
It looked like Robinson got a little bit dinged up there. Training crew was on the pitch just to make sure.
I got 4:20 to go. No, 5:20 to go. Yeah.
As we approach a few minutes left to play in this one, and Liam, we've seen an exciting match. It was an early try by the Sharks, but it's kind of been all Tri-State here the last handful of minutes or so, applying that pressure.
Yeah, unfortunately they haven't been able to make it count on the scoreboard, but Robinson's looking electric when they're running their lines. But as we pointed out earlier, just like there's a try from earlier as the boys blew right through. Still the only score we have up there.
Offside. The offside.
And you just wonder if maybe there was a little bit more focus from the kickoff, if they were a bit more organised.
No, you're up.
Could Tri-State Foundry be even Stevens here? Could we be at 0-0 if they managed to hold that out?
Stay on side. Don't wait. Wait until the ball comes down.
And again, we see Tri-State Foundry's 10. Federico Guana from Udine in Italy, just arguing with the referee, and he'd be better served here to get back.
You were early, though. You were early. You were early. Guys, let's go. You want to scrum? All right, scrum.
Beautifully done. Referee keeps it simple.
Yeah.
Lets him know what he saw. No argument to be had. And we will set up again here for the scrum down. About 5 minutes left to play. Sharks with the lead. It will be a put into the scrum here for the Foundry.
Coach! Bind. Set.
Almost an early drive there from the Sharks.
You pulling it down.
Started pulling it down here on the near side, and a penalty called. They'll go with the quick tap into the hands of Davis. Flings it out to the outside. Off the one hopper, they're able to continue to move forward. Gau into contact, but the penalty is going to be given. And they'll be able to set up there from the 10-meter line.
Yeah, just a rush of blood to the head there from Tri-State Foundry, and they're not going to keep getting opportunities. They really need to take advantage of them and keep the discipline. Now they're just going to get pinged back into their own half again.
So that penalty there ends up going all the way through, so we'll come back to where the kick was had, and that is a huge mistake there for the Sharks. Multiple times those kicks have gone awry. They've really got to come together and kind of figure those out. Got to find touch there. Not so much worried about the distance, you need the possession.
Yeah, you can make excuses with the win, but 3 times in this game so far, I think it's Joe Cokes has missed touch. And you really got, if you're having trouble making touch, you just got to cut the distance back and make sure you drive that ball into touch and retain possession from your lineout.
Set.
Sharks have that 5-point lead, but only a few more minutes with that win at their back, and we've seen already today how much that can play into an advantage for the opposition. Right now, a beautiful little run through around the defense, go stretch. They're able to retain possession. Gubano back to the near side again. Into contact now goes Paquette. Just outside the 22-meter line, they start to get a little bit alone here. They're going to earn themselves the penalty. Not releasing the call. Davis is going to take it quick over the 22-meter line. Here go the Foundry again. Into contact. Almost got their hands on it, but Barry's able to keep possession. Now Gubano out to the side again. Strong defense coming up and making big hits. There is Orego. We've seen him multiple times in this match, but this time they get a little too aggressive. That one's kicked forward and picked up cleanly. Almost got unlucky with that one, but they're able to retain possession. Here come the Foundry again. Swimming through the defense goes Collins. Collins got a bit stranded, but they're somehow able to continue possession and keep that one out of there. Pick and go. Here comes Bakuku. Still on his feet, still dragging defenders, just a couple of meters out now. They're going to have a not rolling away call.
And we're just noticing again, referee Akira is looking at Nicholas Davis, who's been at the engine room of everything today, and he's telling him to stop talking to me, please. The Tri-State Foundry guys have got to listen to the ref. He's not lying to you when he says, stop talking to me.
Davis is not a captain, but they're able to punch it in anyway. There's Sean Collins. A few pick and goes, one after the other, and it's the Tri-State Foundry that are able to strike with a couple of minutes left. Time's off for an injury there, but strong work from Tri-State to be able to get their first try and knock this one up at 5.
Take your time. He's coming over, okay?
I think that's no more than fair. It's no more than they deserve. That big 18, Patrick Heffright, has just been shuttling around, putting in hits, putting in carries, putting in tackles, and getting back to his feet as fast as he can. You see the attempted dive over the line there. They're held up short. They don't panic. They hold their discipline, and that's when Tri-State Foundry are at their best, when they're being disciplined, they're doing their jobs, they're listening to their 9 and their 10. We see they crab out, and then they get to... I think we have Sean Collins going over there for the score.
I can't hear you.
Heffright was also right there to help give him the little push from behind to send him into the try zone. But either way, it's a
90.
strong effort there from the Foundry as they look to set up here.
We're not
Gubano,
kicking right now.
take a sec.
Yeah, Heffright is making his presence known around the field. We had a little pirouette pass there as he took a pass behind him. A little spin move and shipped it off earlier in the play. As I said, he's just like... Sometimes rugby is just a game of getting back on your feet and getting back into play, and he's doing that so well for a big machine.
So we're all knotted up at 5. Gubano looks to take the lead there for the Foundry, and that one is kicked through the uprights and good. We take a final look here as the Foundry were able to punch it in.
So yeah, they bring it back to 2 points between the sides. They drag a bunch of tacklers left. And they're hoping to get a gap in the right. Heffright takes one step back to leave Sean Collins through. They knew what was on there. Nowadays in rugby, you're allowed 1 latching player before contact. So he did that perfectly. He took the step back, latched on, and drove him over the line.
1 minute left to play here in the first half. Sean Collins cleanly takes the restart. Makes a few meters before recycling it back, and now a nice little run through the defense. Good work there from the Foundry, but ends up going forward. And so we'll have a scrum back to the Sharks with about 40 seconds left. Close to being one of the final plays. We'll see what the Sharks can do here.
Harris has been at the center of so many plays today, so many good things that happened for New York. And he had me out of my seat there with that little offload, but unfortunately it just happened to be forward. Here you see him, look, he's got the right idea. But it was actually the pass before, and there was for the pass that Harris took, but he was just a little ahead of the line. And it's an offside.
Sharks have been dinged for penalties on the last couple of scrums. They're able to hold steady here.
Playing advantage.
Back, and they move here to the near side. Advantage being played, says the referee.
9,
so
offside.
Penalty opportunity.
You came across
Offsides is going to be the call. Nicholas Davis got a little too aggressive there over the offsides line, and now they'll look to attack again. Here comes Elbers. Elbers with the offload. Able to secure possession. Here are the Sharks. Down by 2. Should be the final play of the half. Nice little movements right through the teeth of the defense. Augie Orrego continues his excellent match.
Support yourself, Gray.
The runners well. Right up the gut they go. Back into the hands now. The big boys. Ghost Law hands it off. Continue to find space, but the Foundry are playing well in the defensive end. Might have numbers here on the near side. They're able to use it through the hands all the way. Get it out to Pasquarello. Pasquarello fakes left, ends up coming back right. Allows his team to be able to come in support. Penalty's going to be awarded as they were off their feet. We're Tri-State. Sharks 4 meters out now. Over they go. Canny got it down. Their try is awarded. Strong work from the Sharks to respond right before half. Excellent work from Mid-Atlantic.
Oh, what a powerful couple of phases of play there. As Mid-Atlantic Thunder Sharks smelt blood in the water and just didn't let up. They were relentless. So I'm taking a quick tap penalty. There you go. We got bodies lining up, looking for carries. They're hungry. And New York, or Tri-State Foundry, are not organized in defense. They've got 3-on-1 here. They should have wrapped this man up and got possession. We've got 2 guys standing close to the ruck here. These guys need to fan out. They need to be calling for defense to cover, and they just left huge gaps. I'm surprised Nicholas Davis wasn't marshalling his troops there and getting guys in. That's just poor organization and defense. Fellas need to be being honest, working for their teammates and getting back in the line quicker, covering those gaps. Otherwise, you're going to get scored on every time there.
Chad Tiernan was able to knock in that try. Conversion was no good, but our halftime score, Mid-Atlantic Sharks 10 and the Tri-State Foundry 7. We'll take a quick break and come back with the second half here in a few. Houston, Texas, home of the 2023 Collegiate Rugby All-Star Shield Challenge. We're here with the Consolation Bracket semi-final matchup between Tri-State and Mid-Atlantic. Tim Wilkes here coming to you live here with Liam Quinn. And Liam, we had a strong first half back and forth, but it was the Sharks with the final try to take the lead.
Yeah, and a couple of little side stories going on as well. The referee, Akira Doe, and the Tri-State Foundry, 9 and 10, getting into it a little bit. And Chippy, New York, killing themselves with penalties a couple of times, with some great play on both sides in the first half.
Now it's the Sharks looking to burst through a good 60 meters run there with beautiful use of the hands, finding the space. And now they look to charge through again. There's an opening through the defense, but this one pass does not find its target. It's finally scooped up there by Sean Collins there for Tri-State. Like it might have been grabbed up high there, but they're able to continue on with some space there on the far side. But referee will blow this one up, and we will come back.
Time's off.
As he will have a conversation with the assistant referee.
19 Gray, after Blue was on the ground, came in and finished him off without the ball. Unnecessary, unneeded.
What's your recommendation?
Yellow.
Okay. 19, captain.
We heard it there. That was Augie Orego. Has been all over the pitch.
Late finishing off. We're going to have a yellow card, okay?
That's my fault, boys. That ain't bad.
Good use of sportsmanship there from
Rachel,
the Sharks.
Mark's over here. Rachel, right here.
There will be a penalty here for Tri-State, but Liam thinks starting to get a little bit chippy. We thought it was Tri-State that was crossing the line there, but the Sharks getting a little out of hand as well.
Yeah, if I had to put my money on one of the teams coming with the chippiness, it would have been the Tri-State Foundry, but he held his hands up there and said he meant nothing by it and apologized to the other team. But that's a scant consolation to the Mid-Atlantic Thunder Sharks, that they're going to be a man down now against Tri-State, who have fresh legs after the halftime rest.
Fresh legs and a breezy wind at their backs. We didn't see much use of the boot there from them in the first half. Let's see if they take that trick out of the bag. That one did not go the needed 5 meters. Pass has to go across that line. They stepped over it, and there's the quick penalty of have the free kick, and they'll need this one taken at the mark.
We're gonna let everybody get in their spots now because you did it wrong. It's all good, man. Whoa. Guys.
Yeah, if you're going to try the trick play to the front of the line out, you really got to make sure it comes off and you do all the little things well. Otherwise, you end up just stabbing yourself in the foot there.
So off of the free kick, they just go with the quick tap through the hands of Elbers, and now they'll look to find some space there on the far side. Beautiful little inside ball, and the return pass finds more space here for the Sharks. Kick over the top, tries to get a few more, but it's taken cleanly by Tri-State. Probably had a little bit of support, would have been better off just taking it into contact, but now Tri-State from inside their 22, that was brought back in. Got to make sure this one does not land in touch. Beautifully done, gets the side spin, and a huge kick to set things up there for Tri-State, but they'll take it quick through the Sharks and look to push forward. Get through the defense, but a big sling tackle there coming in from Sean Collins. Good work from the flanker to make all the way up the pitch and cause havoc.
I think he just needed a bit more awareness there. He had a break on with 2 men beside him, plenty of support with him. Just a rush of blood to the head again, and he tried the wrong kind of kick. He chipped it up in the air, wind caught it, and that makes it at best a 50-50 ball and gives up your advantage needlessly.
There you go, guys.
Penalty will have it there, but again, had the opportunity, had the space, but unable to come away with it. They took it nicely there off the quick, but again, the opportunity just squandered again. Off their feet they go, and now it's given back to Tri-State. Just too many mistakes here from the Sharks.
Yeah, you'd wonder if cooler heads could prevail, and if where would either team be now if they hadn't blown as many opportunities as they could,
Setting up fine earlier. Let's just make sure we're keeping our space.
or as many opportunities as they have. Quick tap penalty is all well and good, but if everyone's not on the same page and right beside you and supporting each other, you're just handing the ball back to the other team if you get caught by yourself.
Bind. Blue, back 10. You're
Look
in
to
early.
reset the scrum, but
You're under his
a
arm.
little bit of an early engage there, so a free kick's going to be given. Not sure if that was right at the mark, but referee is going to allow them to continue moving forward. Then the Mid-Atlantic Sharks in possession, up by 3. Here as we are 4 minutes into the second half of action. Almost an obstruction there, but they're able to swim out of that one. Comes to deck. Not releasing is going to be the call, and it's a turnover penalty back to Tri-State. They'll go with the quick tap. Over the 22-meter line they go. Into the hands of the big fella, Georgie. Bakuku able to take it through the defense. Now just 7 meters out. Ubano with his hands on it, flings it here to the near side. There's space there from Clow, and Clow takes it all the way in for the try, and it's Tri-State with the first 5 here in the second half.
And like we just talked about, it was like they were listening to us. There's no point going on a quick tap unless you have support, and this time he had support with him. Big 3, Georgie Bakuku. As he took 2 tacklers, drove him back 5 or 6 meters, eventually rumbled to the ground. Davis knew exactly what he was doing here. He was going to spin it out the back. He saw the overlap. And Ben Clow did really, really well to split that gap there. He took a step to the side, looked to his right, almost dragging off a couple of defenders with his eyes, and then he burst through that gap. Great acceleration there.
You called it beautiful field awareness there just to suck that defense in or push them out to the outside. And the kick beautifully taken right between the posts and gives Tri-State a 4-point lead as we're 5 minutes into the second half of this semifinal in the consolation bracket. And we'll take a final look. Beautiful little pass, hits him in stride. Defense comes up, thought they might be able to take that one with the interception, but got caught. Big mistake there for the Sharks as things opened up for Tri-State.
You sure?
Yeah, he had one more man outside, Tiernan Cleary Bentley, but he probably didn't like the odds of passing it out to a forward, decided to finish himself. And great confidence and just awareness of the defense and the gaps there to run at those spaces.
Again, the Sharks playing with a man down. Still have a couple more minutes left on the bend, 5 minutes
The ball was out.
in total that they'll have to play with the man down. There's the kick up over the top, over the defense. Ends up trickling past the final fullback. Well, able to come back. Here goes Uhler, scoops it up, looks to attack. Excuse me, that's actually Quincy Allum. And Allum over the 22-meter line, sets things back up here for the Sharks. Nice little cut through the teeth of the defense. Got around one, ends up losing it though. This one's free play, says the referee, scooped up by Vivier. Out to the outside they go, through the hands of Barry, over to the outside, tiptoeing across that touch line, ends up stepping on the white line, and will come back for a line out for the Sharks.
I think Colton Moyer lucky to get away with a somewhat high tackle there. He hit him very high.
Yes, forward.
Crashes into it. He was lucky the shoulder was the first point of contact. But good shipping it through the hands here.
Have blue loose head for me.
Just unfortunate that the last pass didn't stick. Anthony Pasquarello did really, really well to hold on there with just a grip tackle. It's so hard to grab a bit of material on that jersey and just hang on when your momentum is carrying you out over the sideline and someone's shooting a strong line down towards your try line.
Coach.
Had enough strength though to bring him into touch. Actually going to have the scrum down here, so it looked like that pass may have gone forwards there with the knock on. So we'll set up here for the scrum, is what the Sharks have chosen. So look to set up here again from inside their own 22-meter line. Still with the one-man disadvantage here for the Sharks. Able to secure possession nicely. Now from their own end, looking for a bit of a movement here, but a penalty is going to be given. Forward pass, so we'll have a scrum down, and it's Tri-State already taking the lead with that last try, looking to punch another one through.
Yeah, and set play here. Just guys breaking the offside line a little too quickly. And 27, Pasquarello, just gave the ball instead of holding on to it. When he saw the man run past him, he should have held on to that and stuck it up his jumper or shipped it out to the next available runner. Putting yourself under pressure now, 6 meters out from your own line.
Bind. Set.
Davis will put this one in. Strong drive from the Sharks right through the Tri-State scrum, but they're able to secure possession off the back. Well done there by Davis. There's the previous try score, taking it into contact, Clow. Could not make it and then got a little bit stranded, and it's the Sharks to get their hands on it and retain the penalty and get possession back.
They'll be delighted with that there. Just putting enough pressure on him in defense. Just to make him. So we've got a couple of missed touches from penalties throughout this game, the game before it with the wind, and he makes 100% sure of it by kicking almost perpendicularly against the sideline and driving it straight out and securing his own possession on his own line out. There's a big elbow off there in the face from Ben Clough.
Tiernan getting his head involved there, able to hang on and make the tackle. They're off the line out. Not straight going to be the call. Option here for the Foundry. Scrum's going to be chosen, so they'll have an attacking scrum as we take another look.
Now you'd have to hope Tri-State Foundry don't make a mistake twice in a row. They've got two scrums from great attacking positions inside Mid-Atlantic Thunder Sharks 22, and I'm sure contact coach Craig Wilson will have a couple of set plays set up here for them, a couple of options just to slice open the Thunder Sharks defense.
Sharks had a strong drive on the last one, still causing havoc there. Davis finally able to wedge it out of there with the boot. Gets things moving here for the Foundry through the hands of Clough. Big skip pass up over the top. Now through the defense they go. Run there from Paquette. Paquette tries to dish it off there to the far side. Back to Powell. Into contact they go. 3 meters out now. Tri-State up by 4. Under 10 minutes left to play in the match. This one gets booted through, but advantage was being played. The referee's gonna dish out another yellow card. So just as the Sharks were back to full strength, another card is given and another opportunity here for Tri-State to make their will and get another try and extend this lead.
Yeah, Matthew Paquette there, very exciting as it looked like he was backpedaling, got a hospital pass, chucked up in the air, gave the defenders plenty of time to shoot up on him, and he just broke through again. That acceleration, just speed kills in rugby. And the Thunder Sharks just have to be more disciplined when they're on their own line defending.
Sharks coming up and taking a bite out of that attack, getting involved nice and low to fend them off. But here's the rumble through, very close to the line there from Aitken. Just short, says the referee, and we'll bring this one back. He'll have a conversation with his AR.
Let's go over here away from this guy. All right, so I did not have the clear shot of the ball. I saw you come in. So, go.
Yep. So yeah, there was no clear grounding. There was clearly a gray arm underneath, and it was over top of the goal line.
So then it's held up?
Yeah, held up, goal line.
So we have a goal line dropout. Yep. Goal line dropout. Goal line drop.
So close there, Liam. Looks like he was inches away from dotting that one down.
Behind the kicker, guys.
Gosh, he might have even got
over ball.
Behind the kicker.
Yeah, he might have even touched some white line there,
No,
but
unless
the ref or the AR can see it, and they're both in pretty good positions. Just on the blind, both got caught on the blind side, so you can get a clear view of it. But yeah, if you know you're not getting the ball over the line, you have to recycle it and get it back, because they'll just give that dropout every time, and you lose possession. Yeah. And it's a waste of momentum.
Off the goal line drop. We've got a kick taken with the drop kick. Off the mark, no good, and now the Sharks look to make him pay. Big run through the defense goes Preston Jones. Still with the attack. Finally scooped up there by Davis. Well done here from Tri-State, but they're not out of the woods yet as they lose this one forward. And it's the Sharks back over the 10-meter line. They lost support there.
Just go to the knockout, guys.
But we will play the advantage, so we'll come back. It'll be a knock-on there and a scrum down back to the Sharks.
And where's Preston Jones been all day? That was a huge burst. Fresh legs still at this point in the game. Shot right up the sideline. Luckily, he's got a forward. He cuts in on Nicholas Davis, leaves him dead. He sees he's got no support, so he's looking to get that offload, but then he's also watching Federico Gubana coming in for the bird dog, so the best he can do is toss it backwards and get it recycled, hopefully.
So we'll set this one up here for the attacking scrum.
We got a lot of people
for
asking
Mid-Atlantic.
for time there, so we're just gonna take a moment, right? All right, we're good now. There's your mark, guys.
Liam, it's been a struggle in this scrum throughout the match. Both these teams not giving an inch.
Yeah, and we've had quite a few knock-ons as well, and just quick tap penalties being messed up and stuff, so we keep coming back to this scrum, the energy sapping contest, and then you have that paired with the fact that there's been big breaks, so your forwards have got to be tired at this point.
Good job to retain possession there. Tiernan with a little pop pass. They ended up being off their feet in support on the ruck. And so it'll be a turnover ball back to Tri-State. Time is off here, and we'll take a small break just to make sure everybody's all right. As we got about 7 minutes left to play, still a 4-point lead. As Tri-State have the wind at their back.
Not supporting himself in the breakdown, in the ruck.
Beautiful kick, finds
That's a
touch just
kick
outside
from
the
Gubana.
22-meter line.
How many? Yeah, I have 5:20 left.
Using the wind well there. There's the pop, but the Thunder Sharks go in, and it looks like someone came off their feet. Kieran must have seen something we didn't there.
I'm right there with you, Liam.
Good.
As we restart play here off the line out. First driving maul we've seen now from the Foundry, but it's the Sharks that got low and completely stifled that attack. They're able to pull it out, though, through the hands of Barry. Barry to Gubano, back to Barry now. Now it's going to be Collins. Gives his team an opportunity to set up the back line here. Davis flings it out to him to get him going. Clow up over the top, hits his target, Thompson. Thompson drags a defender over the 22-meter line. Looked like contact was made there in the ruck, and they are able to get their hands on it and pull it away. So close there between where he was able to snag that one and get his hands on it to where contact was made. But referee says the Sharks have the advantage.
Great defending there from the Sharks. Just being at number 27 there, Pasquarella, just being able to get back over, scramble around the corner in defense and just get back out and fill those gaps by the sideline.
Showed his hands, showed
And
he
not
was
get the
not
last
part of
tackler
that
drawn in.
tackle. Gives the Sharks still an opportunity, down by 4, 5 minutes left to play with a berth to the championship round of the consolation bracket here on the line. Again, thank you so much for joining us here at the 2023 National Collegiate Rugby All-Star Challenge. Tim Wilkes here with Liam Quinn as we march towards that final whistle.
This is an exciting little finish, Tim. I wouldn't be surprised if this went either way. Just Sharks defending so well and Foundry looking exciting in attack.
And it's the Sharks
They
again.
got players on both sides that
had
can
these
burst through. And
Sharks have had these opportunities, but the mistakes after mistake here in the set pieces. Again, off the mark. We've seen that throughout the match, and it sets up Tri-State. They're already up by 4, and they could more than likely close this one out with another try.
yeah, the Sharks have gone from looking so promising in the first 30 seconds of the game, scoring off the line out, just walking through the Tri-State defense, to losing a couple of lineouts so far in the game, at least 2. Just through no mistakes, but their own.
They have been good here in the last few scrums, but they have a penalty here. And it's going to be a quick tap and a take here from Tri-State. Over the 22-meter line they go. Lanning just takes it into contact, sets up the next phase. They look to go weak. They've got plenty of numbers there, but they're taking it in, standing still. Good job there by Gubano just to drag defenders over the 5-meter line. Possible knock there, but they're able to retain possession. Just 1 meter out now, up by 4. 3 minutes left to play. A try would all but end this one. Strong work from the Sharks to get him out.
We're playing grade 27 on the neck.
So we'll come back to the high tackle. There's the quick tap. Not yet, says the referee. We do have a man down. I think that's a good job of kind of slowing things down here with an injured player there in the field.
Yeah, you can't blame a man for trying, but good decision by Kira, the ref there, to pull it back. Again, Mid-Atlantic Thunder Sharks just penalised in the same position as they gave away the yellow card. Defending on the line, everything's a little bit more intense. You have to be a little bit more careful. And of course, there's the added weight in the referee's mind that if you infringe, you're denying a possible try-scoring opportunity. So we're talking yellow cards and penalty tries instead of just straight penalties.
Couple
fresh legs here for the Thunder Sharks. Got Rotu Grahady coming in. And another 16 jersey. Maybe Brad Porter.
Watch this inside line. Oh, never mind, it's not there anymore.
Still time off here as injured player still gets looked at by the training staff. Seems to be good to go now, and we are ready to rock and roll. 4-point lead here for Tri-State. They'll take the quick tap penalty into the hands of Gubano. Pass to nobody, almost lands in the Sharks' lap. But they're able to retain possession here at Tri-State. There's the pass back there to Stretch. Stretch through the defense. Tries to pry his way down. 10 meters out. Hands in the ruck there. Sharks did good to leave that one be. Now through Barry. Takes another meter. Be huge if the Sharks can make a big defensive stand. And there's the knock on. Here come the Mid-Atlantic Sharks, still looking for their first victory on the weekend. Little skip pass up over the top. That was a dangerous one. Ends up getting knocked out. Still waiting to see who was last touched by the Foundry, so it'll be a line out back to the Sharks.
The Tri-State Foundry will be mad at themselves there. Aiden Stretch starting off a great move there as he kept his legs pumping with 2 or 3 tacklers on him and tried to hand off a fella. But then Mid-Atlantic Sharks doing so well to just maintain their calm and defense there, wait for their opportunity, and a good pickoff.
So Mid-Atlantic Sharks need to go 90 meters, make it 100 meters as they are back right on the edge of their tri-zone. Down by 4, minute and a half left to play. Ooh, almost got a little too offsides there. Referee says play on though. Tri-State getting aggressive and eventually gives the penalty. Not releasing going to be the call. Sharks will take the quick tap. Into contact they go over the 22-meter line. Try the offload, can't get it, and it's scooped up. Plow gets possession back here for the Foundry. Huge job there to be able to get into that ruck, scoop it back. They'll kick it out, looking for touch. That will do it. Tri-State Foundry punch their ticket to the Consolation Championship. What a good match for Liam Quinn. I'm Tim Wilkes. We'll step aside. We've got more action coming your way. Stay tuned.
In our game, we play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.